Some interviews leave you laughing. These ones leave you stunned. From drunken rants to public breakdowns, these moments made fans question everything. Here are the top 20 most disturbing interviews with the celebrities. Charlie Sheen, the Tiger Blood interview. In 2011, Charlie Sheen gave a chaotic interview after being fired from 2.5 Men. His intense behavior and bizarre quotes quickly became viral.
Your anger and your hate, I think, is coming off as erratic to people.
Passion, my passion.
He presents himself not as troubled, but as someone too powerful for the system to handle.
Right, well, you borrow my brain for 5 seconds and just be like, dude, can't handle it. Unplug this bastard, yeah.
His manic energy dominates the interview, blurring the line between confidence and delusion.
What are you a doctor of?
Some are saying that you're bipolar.
Wow, what does that mean?
He embraces his party lifestyle with pride.
I don't know, man. I was banging 7-gram rocks and finishing them because that's how I roll. I have one speed, I have one gear.
Then came the phrase that defined the interview.
Because I'm me, I'm different. I just have a different constitution, I have a different brain, I have a different heart, I have a different, I get tiger blood, man.
Despite everything, Sheen insists he's in control.
You don't worry that you're going to die when you take that many drugs?
Dying's for fools.
Paula Dean's emotional collapse on live TV. She began by trying to explain a word she used years ago. Her tone was serious, and she looked down often.
The day I used that word, it was a world ago.
Then she shared a story about a robbery, trying to justify her past actions. She looked nervous and uneasy.
It was 30 years ago. I had had a gun put to my head.
Matt asked if she had used that word at other times. Paula quickly denied it, shaking her head.
One time in the bank, a robbery attempt, you're telling me you have never used...
When he asked again, she looked down and repeated herself, clearly feeling pressured.
So you have never used the N-word other than that one occasion?
No, it's just not.
Then came a strange moment. Lauer asked if she ever regretted telling the truth. Paula firmly said no, then suddenly mentioned disliking certain people.
Do you ever wish you'd fudged the truth?
No.
She started crying while telling a story about her grandson. Her voice cracked, and tears rolled down her face.
Me and he said, Kenny, I don't tell lies.
In the end, she cried harder and looked into the camera, saying something extreme about judgment.
If you're out there, please pick up that stone.
It was raw and painful to watch, a public moment where emotions completely took over. Michael Richards tries to apologize, but it gets worse. Richards appeared shaken and quiet. He said he felt he needed to speak directly and looked visibly disturbed while trying to explain himself.
I've already heard you make some jokes about it, and that's okay, but I'm...
He apologized to the audience members he offended, saying he was very sorry. His voice cracked and his hands stayed tightly clasped.
I'm really busted up over this, and I'm very, very sorry.
As he continued, his message became more confusing. He brought up hate, rage, and even Hurricane Katrina.
And I'm concerned about more hate and more rage and more anger coming.
Letterman interrupted to ask how he would have responded if the hecklers were white. Richards paused, looking uncertain.
Ask a question about had the people doing the heckling or the people who were not paying attention.
He then said he pushes limits as a performer, but his words felt scattered. The moment felt more uncomfortable than sincere.
It may have happened. I'm a performer. I push the envelope. I work in a very uncontrolled manner on stage.
Kanye West says slavery was a choice. During a visit to TMZ, Kanye West said something that shocked everyone in the room. He called 400 years of slavery a choice, leaving people speechless.
That sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
Van Lathan, a TMZ staff member, stood up and calmly but firmly told Kanye how dangerous his words were.
Actually, the absence of thought. And the reason why I feel like that is because Kanye
then shared how he got liposuction and became addicted to opioids, trying to defend his actions and feelings.
I was in the hospital. I was on opioids. I was addicted to opioids.
R. Kelly's emotional interview with Gayle King. In this tense interview, R. Kelly tries to defend his controversial relationship with 2 young women, Jocelyn Savage and Azriel Clary. He claims their relationship is legal, but things quickly get heated when Gayle King questions his actions.
I have a harem, a cult.
R. Kelly becomes emotional when discussing the parents of the women, insisting they gave their daughters to him.
All you have to do is push a button on your phone and say, so-and-so did this to me.
The interview escalates with R. Kelly shouting, pointing, and pacing.
Women, so nobody's allowed to be mad at me and be scorned and lie on me.
Crisen Glover's unsettling appearance on Letterman. During this bizarre interview, Crisen Glover's odd behavior leaves David Letterman visibly uncomfortable. Glover's erratic energy becomes evident as he starts flexing his muscles and challenging Letterman to an arm wrestling match.
I'm strong, you know, I'm strong, I can arm wrestle.
After being rejected, Glover's energy escalates. He continues to act unpredictably, claiming he can kick and surprising everyone by nearly kicking Letterman.
These aren't mine. I can kick.
Okay. The interview ends with Glover patting Letterman on the back as the host tries to disengage from the situation.
Okay, I'm going to go check on the top 10.
Ween Phoenix's uncomfortable appearance on Letterman. This interview with Ween Phoenix quickly becomes uncomfortable. Phoenix appears disheveled and distant, avoiding eye contact and offering short, flat responses.
And I will just say right off the top here, you look different than I remember it.
As Letterman tries to make light conversation about Phoenix's beard, the actor grows increasingly uneasy, even claiming the scratching is just a nervous tick.
Is there something wrong?
I can't be the first one to make you feel weird about it.
The awkwardness intensifies with long silences and Phoenix's detached body language, leaving the audience unsure whether to laugh or be concerned. Letterman, trying to keep it light, makes a joke about Phoenix's appearance, which briefly breaks the tension. Ivanka Trump's uncomfortable interview with Andy Dick on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Ivanka was mid-sentence when she noticed Andy behaving strangely behind her, and she made a light comment about it.
Serious business context. I have no idea what he's doing behind me.
Suddenly, Andy interrupted her and made a strange comment about her legs, leaving her visibly surprised.
I'm like trying to be very innocent.
Without warning, he reached out and touched her leg. Ivanka pulled away fast, and Jimmy jumped in to stop it.
Glitter on your legs?
Oh, you know.
Andy, don't please.
Ivanka tried to keep calm, laughing nervously, but the discomfort on her face said it all.
Don't touch Ivanka.
Oh, wait, did I say I was single and then I had a boyfriend?
Jimmy firmly warned Andy. Andy sat back, looking amused, while Ivanka stayed polite but uneasy.
Hey, Andy, please don't. Donald Trump will kill both of us.
Madonna versus Letterman. TV chaos. She claims she brought something to prove how often he messes with her on the show, her tone playful but sharp.
I brought something to make a point.
All right, okay, good.
You are always me on the show.
The crowd loved it, but Letterman kept pushing. Madonna demanded they play a tape she brought.
Now there, you see?
What?
A nice cut.
The tape showed a fake version of her naked on a bike. She laughed loudly, then teased that her body looked better than that.
My ass looks a lot better than that.
Letterman asked about her cigar. She smirked and gave a bold answer, keeping the audience roaring.
It's just the right size.
Then came the moment that pushed the limits. When asked about her evening plans, she gave a shocking reply.
Now, when you leave here tonight, what are you going to do? Are you going to go out? You're going to go...
Me, Dave.
Oh, Jesus.
Prince Andrew and the strange no-sweat claim. Emily began with a serious question. She brought up a woman who clearly remembered dancing with him and said he was sweating heavily that night.
About that night, she described dancing with you and you profusely sweating.
Prince Andrew then interrupted quietly. He gave a strange facial reaction, almost like a small smirk, as if he knew what was coming next.
I have a peculiar medical condition, which is...
He continued seriously, saying he could not sweat back then because of something that happened during the Falklands War.
Or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was... Oh, actually, yes.
He claimed a burst of adrenaline stopped his body from sweating at all, and that lasted for years.
And I simply, it was almost impossible for me to sweat.
Then, without changing tone, he added that he recently started sweating again.
In the recent past, that I'm starting to be able to do that again. So
finally, he said this condition should clear him of any wrongdoing, finishing his point with confidence.
I'm afraid to say that there's a medical condition that says that it didn't do.
Whitney Houston confronts rumors in awkward interview. Here, Diane shows Whitney a photo that shocked many. She questions her weight and appearance, and things get tense quickly.
Be a bad shot, but this is real. I mean, the bones, that's real.
Whitney responds with a firm tone, saying she was just thin, but her eyes show she is not pleased.
Yeah, I'm 5'7" and thin. I can understand what you mean.
Then Diane calls it scary thin. That word clearly hits hard.
It's scary thin.
Next, Diane raises the drug rumors. Whitney's mood shifts, and her voice gets sharper.
Whitney dying. Crack rehab fails.
Whitney hits back strongly. Her words and hand gestures show how serious she is.
Crack is cheap. I make too much money to ever smoke crack. Let's get that straight, okay?
She ends it with a phrase that many still remember.
We don't do crack. We don't do that. Crack is whack.
Mike Tyson shocks with inappropriate interview comment. Tyson made a blunt and offensive statement about women, keeping a still face and cold eyes while saying it directly to the interviewer.
I normally don't do interviews with women unless I fornicate with them.
He paused after his words, holding his stare. He did not smile or pull back. The moment hung heavy in silence. Tyson then added a final line with a strong tone, making it sound like a warning or a demand.
So you shouldn't talk anymore.
The clip then cut to a different scene where Tyson was in public, walking away while others looked on. The mood was still uneasy.
Unless you wanna.
The Meg Ryan interview that turned uncomfortable. This moment with Meg Ryan and Michael Parkinson became known for its awkward tone. What started as a calm conversation slowly shifted. Parkinson questioned her love for acting. Ryan looked unsure and gave short replies. Her smile faded fast and her tone turned quiet.
You did say that. Yes,
Okay.
you did say that. Did you? Are you denying that you said that? I mean, it's not a...
Ryan explained she liked the work, but not the spotlight. Parkinson kept pressing her. It was clear she wanted the talk to end.
It always feels very awkward for me to be in front of an audience.
Then came the breaking point. When asked what he should do next, Ryan looked straight at him and calmly said he should just wrap it up. The tension was real and the audience laughed, but the moment felt sharp.
In other words, if you were me, what would you do now?
Well, just wrap it up.
Quentin Tarantino walks out of the conversation. The host asked a calm question about violence in films and how it might affect people. Tarantino stayed silent for a second, then gave a cold response and pointed the question back at another actor.
Well, then you should talk to Jamie Foxx. Then you should talk to Jamie Foxx about that. And I think he's actually here, so you can.
When the host tried to continue the topic, Tarantino shut it down fast. He leaned in and said he was only there to promote his movie.
And I don't want to. Because I'm here to sell my movie.
The host asked if that meant avoiding serious topics, but Tarantino made it clear he was done. His voice rose and his tone turned sharp. He waved his hands and said he had already spoken on the matter before.
I haven't wanted, because the reason I don't want to talk about it is I've said everything I have to say about it.
The host tried again, softly, but Tarantino snapped back. He pointed and shut the conversation down completely. He even said straight up that he was shutting the host down.
I haven't fleshed it out.
It's not my job to flesh it out.
Robert Downey Jr. walks out mid-interview. Robert shifted in his seat, smiled politely, but it was clear he was not happy with the direction. His body language slowly changed. The atmosphere became tense.
Talking about the movie, but we also would like to talk a little bit about you, and I don't know how comfortable you are.
The host pushed again, touching on drug use and family issues. Robert's expression turned serious. It was now visibly uncomfortable.
3 more minutes on our agreement.
Your foot's starting to jump a little bit. You better get to your next question.
Robert then cut him off sharply. He questioned the point of the interview.
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
Well, I'm just asking questions.
And just like that, Robert stood up, gave a short goodbye, and walked out, leaving the interviewers stunned and speechless.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry.
Samuel L. Jackson calls out a shocking mistake. Jackson looked surprised when asked about a commercial he was never in.
That Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
Then Jackson directly corrected him, clearly upset but with some humor.
But see, you're as crazy as the people on Twitter. Right. I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
The anchor later admitted his mistake and said Jackson's reaction was fair.
Of course, a Captain America ad had also run during the Super Bowl, but I immediately felt so dumb.
Britney Spears breaks down on national TV. At first, she answered calmly, but her smile looked tense and her voice a bit shaky.
You've had a year that would test a lot of people.
It was pretty rough, yeah.
Then suddenly her mood shifted. She laughed out loud, but it felt uncomfortable and forced.
Ah, weird. Hello.
That smile soon faded. Britney tried to hold it in, but emotion took over.
Ew, I'm embarrassed. Can we stop?
Paris Hilton faces mocking questions on Letterman. Letterman started with small talk, but then he dropped a bomb, asking about her jail experience.
Though, isn't it?
I was born here, yeah.
Yeah, good for you. How'd you like being in jail?
Paris looked caught off guard, laughing nervously and trying to keep it light, but the questions kept coming.
That's how you start.
Not too much.
The awkwardness escalated as Letterman continued to press on the topic, mocking her prison food.
Boiled egg and an orange.
That's not bad. Hard-boiled egg and an orange. You can't go wrong there, honestly.
Kathy Griffin's emotional press conference. Griffin appeared visibly distressed, struggling to find the right words as she talked about the aftermath of the incident.
I think he, I'm going to be honest, he broke me. He broke me.
Her voice trembled with emotion, and tears welled up in her eyes as she tried to explain herself.
He broke. And then I was like, no, this isn't right. It's just not right.
Griffin's distress grew as she spoke about the intense media scrutiny and the impact on her career.
At my shows, they're scared. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get arrested.
Danny DeVito's Wild Morning on The View. Danny was smiling wide, talking about the White House visit with joy, but his words were already a little slurred, and the host noticed it right away.
So I was there during Clinton's last stint.
Then out of nowhere, he made a strange face and dropped a word that made Rosie burst into laughter, and Barbara looked down uncomfortably.
Had that kind of Clinton feeling.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't go after...
He kept going with weird noises and random words, while Rosie laughed so hard she had to cover her face. But Barbara looked more worried than amused.
That's the president.
As he shouted a name and made silly grunts, you could feel the room shifting between laughter and secondhand embarrassment.
You're waking up, aren't you? Trying to, figure out what to...
And just when you thought it could not get stranger, he mimed taking his clothes off, making Elizabeth react in shock while still laughing.
Donald.
Some of those moments were hard to forget, and even harder to watch again. Which one shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let us know which interview you think we missed and what topic we should cover next. Do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss what comes next.